the present day. Has anybody read the papers today at all? Anybody read anything at all in the papers with regards to Israel? There's a bit of information here that might be interesting, and that is this is not directed about Israel, but it's certainly directed about the Middle East, and that Britain is actually drawing up a plan to join the United States if the US decide to attack Iran. That was in most of the newspapers today, so I haven't had anything that's either confirmed it or denied it, but it was certainly in the papers. Another piece of information here is, at the same time, the situation in the Middle East has been inflamed by saber rattling from top politicians. Benjamin Netanyahu, Ehud Barak are actually agitating for a preemptive strike against the Iranian Islamic State. So things are hotting up even today in the Middle East. And it was also revealed yesterday that Tel Aviv had successfully launched or test-fired a rocket capable of carrying a nuclear warhead which could strike Iran. You must have read some of this stuff. No? Okay. Please yourselves. So these things are happening today. Now, if you were to cast your mind back over the last 3 or 4 years, I'm sure that everyone in this room has seen items on the news showing the hostilities between the Palestinians on the Gaza Strip, the hostilities from the north of Israel, from Syria, coming out of Lebanon, Hamas in the south, in the Gaza Strip, and Hezbollah in the north, in Syria and Lebanon. And so all of these things are continuing to occur. And not only are they continuing to occur, it looks very much like they are escalating as well. Now, I want to make a point here, and I think it's really very important for us to understand. All of this stuff is not being presented to you because we are actively supporting Israel and the Israelis, and we're actually gloating alongside them at their amazing prowess in the wars that they've had against the Arabs. In fact, that couldn't be further from the truth. What we're actually doing is we're looking at the Bible and seeing the amazing things that the Bible is telling us, and that you only have to read it to realize that all of these things that we've been looking at were actually predicted or prophesied beforehand by God himself, so that we're reading words that have been written 2,000, 3,000, 3,500 years ago, that these words are telling us all about what is actually going on in the present day. So that's really the focus. We're not supporting Israel. We're not anti the Arab people. We are presenting to you what the Bible says. And we believe that it is powerful evidence that demonstrates, first of all, that God exists. Because who on earth would know these things? Who would be able to tell you about these things if God hadn't written them in the Bible for us? David.
Thank you. As Chris just said, the evidence is there in the Bible, written thousands of years ago. And not only does it tell us about these things that are about to happen, the detail it goes into is amazing. And this next Bible prophecy I'm going to show you just wipes the floor, really, about what's happening in the world today. This is taken from Psalm, in the Old Testament, from the Psalms, and Psalm 83. This is about what's going to happen when the Jews are back in their land after they've been regathered. So we know it's relevant to what's happening in the world today. For behold, your enemies make a tumult, and those who hate you have lifted up their head. They have taken crafty counsel against your people, that's Israel, and consulted together against your sheltered ones, because they're back in the land. They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be remembered no more. They have consulted together with one consent. They form a confederacy against you, the tents of Edom. Notice these names that are coming up that should start to become familiar. The tents of Edom, the Ishmaelites, Moab and the Hagrites, Gebal, Ammon, Amalek, Philistia, and the inhabitants of Tyre. Assyria has also joined them. They have helped the children of Lot. Okay, here's the Middle East as we see it today. That is a current map of the Middle East. And these 10 nations that are mentioned in Psalm 83, just have a look and see where they are. Think about the wars we've been looking at this evening in recent times in the Middle East. This is how accurate Bible prophecy is. This tells us that, the 1967 war, the 1948, 67, 73, and others have all stemmed from these nations surrounding Israel. We've shown you this evening how the Bible prediction of the Jewish-Arab conflict has been fulfilled since the establishment of the nation of Israel in 1948. So it's no coincidence, that as Israel's been re-established in the land, so have the Arab nations, because it's fulfilling Bible prophecy. Only in the last few days, rockets have been launched from Gaza into Israel. It's not hitting the headlines particularly because as far as the world's concerned, there's more important things going on, like the euro. But rockets have been launched this week and fired into Israel. I'd like us to focus in on this part of the psalm. They have said, "Come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be remembered no more." And because of the previous or recent wars that we've seen in the land, we may think, well, that refers to that. But this prophecy is still being fulfilled today. And not only in the Middle East, it's spreading across the world at an alarming rate. Watch this next final video clip and see how the Bible is incredibly accurate about this prophecy. The conflict between the Jew and the Arab, the prophecy of Psalm 83, is very, very much alive today.